You.
I love you.
I love you. Everyone, welcome to the Misfit Toys. Give me some snaps. You got some BTS love right there. Some BTS love between Maria and I call her Dina Nina because my mom is Mama Nina. So Dina Nina just sounds good to me. Yeah. And I'm Iggy LoveSky. Ladies, welcome, welcome, welcome. We have Dina Nina. She is broadcasting live from. Hold on, we're gonna try this again.
Are we live? What's going on? What happened?
I believe I think we are on. We are finally on. It's been Mercury retrograde. Things have been crazy. So thank you everybody for tuning in. If you are tuning in, write us. Where are you coming in from? Ms. Dina Nina, you are in Wisconsin.
I am in Wisconsin.
Okay. For those of us who are watching from all over the world who have never been to the States or maybe have been to the States, what is Wisconsin like? Give us 3 words to describe us in Wisconsin.
Cheesy.
Cheesy.
Beery.
Beery.
And cold.
Is it really cold over there right now?
Cold. But you look the quintessential opposite of cheesy, beery, or like you are so full of, like when I think of Wisconsin, I don't see you there. You seem like an anomaly. Like you seem like the pink giraffe.
I am the pink giraffe in any room that I walk into. So I fit in pretty well. There's like I love and I always say this, but like I moved to Wisconsin and I was so excited because for the first time in my life after leaving Los Angeles, people didn't look at me like I was Kirstie Alley when I was in a restaurant. So
were you born and raised in LA?
Excuse me. No, I was born
Not wearing masks, Dina.
I know. Oh, my droplets.
We got Ray tuning in from Wales. What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, Ray. I grew up in Texas in a small town.
Okay.
And I was too big for that town, and so I moved to Dallas for a while, and then I moved to LA for a good decade. Oh. A bad decade, but a decade nonetheless. And then I just ended up here, and I moved to Wisconsin for my career, and
you don't hear that a lot.
For comedy. You moved to Wisconsin for comedy.
It's a joke. Like I was
like, oh.
But
she needed fodder. She needed fodder for her comedy material. And let me tell you, nothing is like tipping cows is pure comedy. Like that's
it is.
Okay.
100% comedy.
Real thing. Is that actually a thing that people have done?
I have never tipped a cow in my life. Okay,
because they do that. I hear that. And El Centro is also where I lived for a decade. Anyway. And there's lots of cows there. You're in El Centro when you smell the poop in the air, like the cow poop.
Yeah.
It's a thing because it's number one, it's great because after the rains, the magic mushrooms grow on the cow patties.
Oh.
So like not only do you go out and get your mushrooms, but when you're kind of drunk and you tip the cow, it still sleeps. So it kind of just like boof falls over and then it wakes up and it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
That's some redneck shit that I've never done. I'm a little white trash. I'll admit I like to shoot guns and set shit on fire, but I draw the line at cow tipping. That's all I'm saying.
Good. It's mean.
Honestly.
It is. It is definitely mean. And so are hamburgers.
Yes. Amen.
Wow.
See, Maria's like, I don't know if it's that mean after all.
I mean, it's mean, but like, I'm also not like some animal rights activist or anything. I'm not here's the thing. It's like, I've done a post on this and I'm like, look, people, please don't send me petitions or anything having to do with like animal rights. I was like, because I don't care. I'm just sorry.
Right. It just takes a lot of high school footballers to do it.
Or one drunk fat lady with a will.
Oh my God.
So what is breakfast? Oh, sorry, did I get breakfast? Is it time to breakfast and bitch, Maria?
Oh yeah, I forgot. We have a show. I thought we were just hanging out.
We're just hanging out. So what did you have for breakfast, and what has been bizarre, ironic, terrifying, crazy, and hard about life right now this week for you, Miss Dina Nina?
Breakfast. I had a vegan muffin and Diet Dr. Pepper. And then you know, everything's hard always at some point. And most things are fine. I believe, and I'm not bitching. I'm anti-bitching right now. Like, things are hard. My life has been so much harder than it is right now. So I am so grateful for the privilege and the people in my life right now. So definitely an anti-bitch. I don't have anything to complain about. Like, Mother Goddess Earth Mother has really treated me well recently. So I have nothing to complain about except for I'm old and I hurt. You know, like,
Okay, I needed something because I was like, I'm gonna reach out and punch someone in the neck right now.
right? I mean, you can punch me because I'm disgustingly positive right now, and that's great.
Yeah.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I've been saying this since the quarantine started. The world has been, especially in our country has been catering to those 9 to 5, 40 plus hour a week, those type of people, like, gotta hustle, gotta grind 24/7. Not everyone is like that. Not everyone functions on that kind of level. Some people, like, they work hard, but then, hey, I need a day. I need my mental health. I need my decompression time. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of introverts are thriving right now. And,
oh yes,
you know,
I'm not an introvert. I'm kind of in the middle.
Same.
But there's something about the time I mean, I work hard. I'm constantly working. I'm an ass kicker. But there's something about making sure that we're taking care of ourselves and we're focused on what's important. Like, money and things are not important. They're not important because they leave.
Yep.
Money goes out of your bank account. Things break. They fall apart. You throw them away.
Yes.
You forgot husbands. Right. Husbands break and fall apart and leave
Amen.
too. But best friends, family.
But there's something, I read this article and I can't remember where it was, but they were talking about the new normal of relationships, that there are relationships, people have relationships now with people that are deeper than friendships, different than siblings, almost romantic but not sexual. And I found that so interesting because the story in it was this lady was getting married to this guy and she's like, this is my homegirl. She will always be in my life. If you leave me, she will be here. If you fuck up, she will be here. You know, she's my life partner and you're also somebody who's coming into my life to be a partner. And I found that so cool because my best friends, Greg and Christine and Stacy, they are the people who will be here with me when I break up with that asshole, when I can't make my rent, when I'm crying and eating a lot of Ben & Jerry's vegan ice cream in my bed. You know what I mean? Like they are deeper than family and almost like a life partner. And I call Greg my non-sexual life partner because he sleeps with men and I sleep with men.
I love that. I absolutely love that. That's just so, I really like that there's a shift, because there's a huge shift going on in general with our society and in the world. But I really like this shift that's including like deeper, meaningful relationships and not being centered on like romantic relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really appreciate that because so much of our lives we've been told, like, you're only worth what your husband thinks you're worth, or, you know, like what you accumulate. And it's just like, why can't I just be me and live my best life? Like, why does it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
100%. I'm with you on that.
Yes.
Like, I want to make money because I have an empire to build, but it's not about the money empire. It's about the connections and the relationships that I'm able to foster, and the people. Like, I'm surrounded by so many incredibly talented women comics, and I could not be happier. Like, it's my favorite thing.
You took the words out of my mouth.
You are just like on the level right now.
I am reliving my best life because growing up, I was one of the girls. Like, I was raised by Black girls. When I immigrated from communist Russia, we lived in the projects, and I learned how to double Dutch before I could ride a bicycle. And my challah at the shul was that my challah had the best braids because they taught me how to do like this amazing braids. So I could like, my rabbi would be like, Igor, and he would have his little like sideburns like, where did you learn to make challah like that? And I'm like, challah! And I would make it was good. I was like, and I always thought I was weird because on my birthdays at Skate City or at Chuck E. Cheese's, it was me and like 20 girls.
Yeah.
And so now, and Maria always talks about this, especially in comedy, talk about healing the little Iggy, healing the little Maria, healing the little Dina. And I'm going back into these moments and running this comedy studio for women. I'm 7 years old again, getting a Gem and the Homograms doll and like super excited and skating around with
not feeling judged for it.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm able to like, so it's been like for me, I
go to your Chuck E. Cheese party, Iggy, every time.
I just feel back like I'm not a girl, but I understand just because I maybe have so many girlfriends and my sister and my mom and I live with my mom. Like
that's who you're comfortable with. Like,
I get the culture. I get the struggle a little bit. You know, like my sister would talk about, tell me if this, like how much, and I would see how much she would prepare to get ready. Like she would start 2 hours in advance, the bath, the hair. She had to go to Sephora, the nails, the thing, to get all the thing. And dude would show up and I'm like, did you shower today?
Oh, the worst.
And then she'd come home and I'm like, he asked me to pay, you know, to go Dutch, to pay half. And I'm like,
no.
The amount of money that women put in to being a woman, and then they get paid 70 cents on the dollar, and then men want to go Dutch, it just makes me just want to punch them in the neck.
You're not even talking about the pink tax because, like, all of our, like, a fucking woman's razor is so much more expensive than a men's razor. Like,
fucking tampons and shit.
Yeah. Yes. There are so many things that are stacked against women, and it's just ridiculous. It shouldn't be. And I love that you love women so much. You know, like I want more Iggy's in my world. You know what I mean?
Because like my gay friends, they get like, and I still like, I could be with women. Like I'm not allergic to seafood. You know, like how some of my friends like break out in highs. I'm like, seafood's delicious. It's just market price, which is more than I can afford.
I can't say the same. I'm all about texture, and I'm not about that. I don't like raw clams.
You're not about that wop.
It's like, and no, I sure am not. It's like menudo, you know, the tripa, the tripe. I don't like that. I don't eat it. I don't touch it. I eat around it maybe. You know what I'm saying? But I won't. Oh no. I'm sorry. I genuinely wish I could eat it. I genuinely do, but I'm like, oh no.
We are the same person. Like I could eat around it.
Right? I like the melons. I love me some melons, but mushy, just texture. No, I can't.
I'm not about wet and gushy. I'm
exactly.
But I mean, I want to be attracted to women sexually.
Right?
Like I'm romantically attracted to women. I would say I'm biromantic.
Okay. I like that.
Pan-romantic. I would say I'm pan-romantic, but I'm heterosexual, which sucks because my long-term sexual partners are going to be men. And a lot of times men who like women are just terrible.
Hetero flexible, I would say, with when I've had enough shots, then I'm hetero, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just trying to get it in. So I will say that. I don't know if I'll still eat I'll eat raw oyster, but I will do a lot more when I'm shit-faced. But I like heteroflexible men, even bisexual men, or anything that isn't just straight heterosexual, because they just have more. First of all, they're more open and like uninhibited in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? So here in the UK, we charge a sales VAT on luxury items. See, that's the bullshit I'm talking about. You know, like I'm a feminist, but I'm like, you know what? I spend triple the amount of money on all my products to look this damn good. And homeboy uses a 3-in-1. You can pay for dinner. You can pay for dinner. It's only fair. That's equality.
And I'm just gonna say, I know it's not his fault, but fuck Boris Johnson. I can't with your prime minister. Boris Johnson's prime minister of the UK.
Oh God.
I can't. I cannot.
He looks like Gary Busey.
Then the opposition guy's in trouble right now too. So I like.
I'm freaking out. Like this pandemic. We've got what? We have a virus. We've had fires. We have hurricanes. We have killer wasps in our Supreme Court.
I was like, wait, what?
The killer wasps are now in the Supreme Court. I don't know how they got there.
I know.
They stuck them in.
I know how they got them there. It's a shit show. Like they're and we hate each other so much in this country. We hate but he's not even as bad. Boris Johnson's not even as bad as Trump. We hate each other so much, and we've been pitted against one another, and I'm just like, how are we going to survive this? Like,
we're going to move to Mexico.
I would love to go. I'm willing to go anywhere. We'll travel for freedom. You know, like, I don't know how we're going to get out of this without a lot of violence. And
honestly, it is what it is, because
either way the election goes, like everybody's so scared. Like people are scared of socialism, and they don't realize that there's a spectrum of socialism. Democratic socialism works. You still want your goddamn Social Security, which is a socialist program. You still want your Medicaid and Medicare, which are socialist programs.
Socialist programs. Like, where do you think they come from?
Yeah. You can still have democracy and socialism welded together. And it's not a bad word. Communism, that hardline socialism, you know, it may not work functionally.
Right. It's a good idea. World, it could, you know, but it never does. You know what I'm saying? We've seen.
Without corruption, communism could be amazing.
There you go. And now we're on a watch list.
Exactly.
Well, my mother would tell me she was like, I'm gonna turn into the little babushka. I'm loving this, like my little durag.
Like I could vote Democratic Socialists, but I could never be full on communist socialist. Like
my mother, she's like, when I was a teenager in Ukraine, in communist Russia, when you were learning how to roll a blunt, I was learning how to roll my own tampons.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would stand in line in freezing cold to get cotton, and I would roll my own tampons. My mother told me, if you don't want to freeze in the cold, start sleeping with the pharmacist.
And you're like, why are you telling me this?
Yeah, this is our breakfast conversation. I'm like, Mom, I have not had my shot of tequila yet. Do not tell me this early.
I don't need to think about your cooch, Mom.
But the point is, like, how ungrateful a lot of we have so many luxuries in the States that we are just unaware of and ungrateful for. And there's so many great things about America that I absolutely love. Because I went back to live in Russia, and hell's not hot. It's cold, and they serve borscht.
Borscht. I'm not saying that, like, the problem is that we have too much corruption, period, and that we're pitted against each other.
Yep.
And that they're going to, I have a feeling that Amy Creepy Barrett is coming for my rights.
Yep.
My right to exist. my right, if I had a uterus and I could get pregnant, my right to terminate the pregnancy so that I could survive.
Yeah, honestly.
Gay marriage is on the docket right after she gets right after the court opens again. Like, you are taking away freedoms from people that that have already been granted to them. And if you say that it's not in alignment with the Constitution, then you can go fuck yourself, because we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness guaranteed in the Bill of Rights. And if you're infringing on my pursuit of happiness, my liberty, then fuck you, I'm coming after you. With love and light. I'm coming after you.
I'm not that nice. I'm sorry. I'm just like, man, I'm a little extreme. So I just, like, first of all, why is it so, like, they want to like they were like, no abortions, no abortions. But then, and this is a New Yorker cartoon, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh my God. Then, like, when you keep the baby, you can't afford to keep it, but you said, okay, I'm going to keep it. And then they're like, get a job, do what you got to do. Like, hold on now, wait a minute. And that's like an extreme, like, people who are choosing, like, do I want to keep this baby? They're not even talking, they're talking about, like, if in a life or death situation, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you keep, like, realistically, they wouldn't even, if the mother died, the baby, if the fetus would die too. So it would be, so just let them both die. Like, was that what you're saying?
Symbiotic life form until it's out of your body.
There it is.
But and like Ray said, they aren't pro-life, they're anti-choice, but they're also I could call them pro-birth. They just want you to fucking give birth. They don't give a shit what happens to it afterwards.
Yeah.
And especially if they're black or brown babies, or, then they don't really give a fuck about them, as proof by the 500 and something immigrant children who have no parents now because we were so irresponsible. Like, I can't. Like, if you're going to fuck with people, no, I'm done. I wash my hands of you. Yep. I'm coming after your ass with love and light.
That's where I come in. That's why, like, when I talk about, like, animal rights and all that stuff, I'm like, no, too many people in this country are worried about a dog being locked up when you're not worried about my people being locked up. Like, don't give me that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm like, I don't hate animals, but I care about humans a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I think I like animals more than.
I mean, and I can see why. I can see why. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up with pets, so there's my disconnect.
This is the thing. The value of human life, period, needs to be greater than the value of power and money.
Yes.
And that has to fucking change, because they don't care about people. They care about lining their pockets and getting power. And this is the thing. We are the people who are suffering because of the power, and because of your money concentrations, and because of you paying $700 in taxes.
Yep.
Like, as people who are poor, they are killing trans people left and right, and nobody is talking about it. Nobody's talking about the trans murders all around this country. Nobody.
Nope. Don't even go there with black trans lives. Like, black trans women are like, oh my gosh. It's just, eat the rich.
And I don't hate the rich. I love money. But what it comes down to is that what you do with that money says a lot about you. Mm-hmm. And poor people pay more on the dollar for everything than rich people do.
Yep.
It's rigged against poor people. It's rigged against you. If you have a ding on your credit card, or, on your credit, your rates go up. You're paying more money for everything. If you can't afford to buy food, so you put it on a credit card, you're paying 2 to 3 times more for that food. Like, and the rich people don't have those barriers.
I mean, it also is
taxes. They don't pay near as many taxes as we do. My taxes last year were terrible. I paid $5,000 and I did not make that much money.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
You know? Like I did not make that much money and I had to pay. Granted, I own a small company and I have, self-employment taxes and and Social Security. Who knows if that's even gonna be there? Like
For sure.
Like there's so much that needs to be fixed.
So I was thinking,
I'm sorry.
I might like this. I'm gonna talk about this in a second. Now everyone was protesting in the streets. And I think everyone should protest with their wallets. Imagine if we all collectively, the middle class, the poor, the rich, just stopped paying every single credit card, every single loan payment, everything until there was a universal APR.
Oh, yeah.
If everyone just said, you know what? I'm not going to pay. I don't care what the late, and until the banks give those who need a 6% APR, not a 22% floating, readjusting arm with the, if we all just stop, no mortgages got paid, no credit cards, no leases, no car loans, and everyone just said, nope, not until everybody gets the same standard rate.
You're on a watch list now.
I mean,
that's what my mom said. She was like,
honestly, when you start talking all that stuff, because here's the thing, the rich people would also have to jump in on it. The people with money would have to protest.
And they're too scared to mess up
but they're not going to because they don't care. It doesn't affect them,
Yeah. Boycotts and protesting with your wallet is something for people that are privileged because I don't have, like, Amazon makes things cheaper by gouging things, but if that's all I can afford, if I only have $20 in my wallet and I need tampons, I can get them from Amazon really cheap, Right. Like it's a catch-22.
Yes. For sure.
Like you can say all you want, like I'm not going to go to that store, but when you don't have the money to go anywhere else because of the price rates are lower because they buy in such big bulk and underpay their vendors, then that's where you go to shop. Not because you don't have ethics, but because that's all you can do.
Yeah. So while it's a great, like for those that can and, go to the small business, support the local business, awesome. But a lot of people can't do that. And that's where, like you said, catch-22, like how do we put Amazon out of business when that's what a lot of the stuff, and people still want to buy from there because, it's cheap, and
Payday lenders,
what?
Payday lenders have a special place in hell.
Yeah. Those are the payday loans, right?
Period. Yes.
Over here, they call them payday loans. Oh my God.
They're fucking the scum of the fucking earth.
They're fucking awful.
With love and life.
So what got you into, change the topic, what got you into comedy, Ms. Dina Nina? When was your first moment on stage? What got you laughing? What got the audience laughing? Like, when was this moment you're like, you know what? I need to share my story with a microphone. When did that happen?
I mean, I've always been an entertainer. I was a singer-songwriter. I was a showgirl. And when I transitioned, and so showgirl.
Transition?
Huh?
What do you mean by transition?
Oh, I'm transgender.
Oh.
So for all of us watching, including me, I didn't know. So now I know. Not that it matters, but
exactly.
I was like, okay, I didn't know. So I was like, what did you transition to Wisconsin?
I was like,
is that bad? Like, is it that hard?
Is that what I don't understand.
I was like, I knew the difference between Los Angeles and Wisconsin was different, but I didn't know it was like a transition. And I was like,
I mean, no, that's also a transition. Let's be honest.
Transition.
That's what I thought you were talking about. I was like, okay, girl, tell me about Wisconsin. So wait, so
when I transitioned to Wisconsin, I decided, I'm just kidding.
When did you, okay, so for those that are watching, and for myself included, when did you transition? And do you mind sharing a little bit about that experience? Because I just, please.
Yeah. So I transitioned in 2007. I began transitioning. I used to be a youth minister, worship leader. I was going to be a church pastor, like in the fundamentalist Christian church. So it took me a long time to get comfortable with just saying that I was gay for a while. And then I was like, oh, I'm not gay. I'm a woman. So I had to come out 50 times for everything. But I had to move to Los Angeles to get away from my family so that I could actually think for myself and have fewer barriers around. But in 2007, we weren't on TV like we are now.
Right.
And so I was a showgirl, for lack of better terms, drag queen. I hate that because I was a woman.
I think showgirl, I think of like somebody like in Vegas with the feathers.
Yeah. I mean, not as glamorous, but still like comparable. So I was working at a lot of the gay bars in West Hollywood, and I started.
How old you were? So for anybody that's watching that might be trans or is thinking about transitioning or is questioning, how old were you when you started this? I mean, of course, you were born with this
like
question in your mind.
There, but of course, when it finally came out.
Yeah. How old were you when you decided to make this step?
Well, I was a little bit older.
And that's all we're gonna say. You don't ask a woman.
Let me be ambiguous.
Because like I worked in many gay bars and clubs and in Washington D.C. and there were a lot of gay men that had they didn't come out until they were 50, and then people started coming out at 30, and then I came out when and it's like now kids are coming out at like 12, 11. So things have shifted. People feel that they can come out earlier, they can transition earlier. So
I began transitioning at 75. So I'm 153 now.
You look amazing.
Let's just say when I started transitioning, I was old enough to make my own decisions.
Right.
Yes, trans people are people. We're human, blood, flesh, everything. Don't fuck with me right now. So I began transitioning because I was like, oh my God, I'm a woman. I was like, what?
You're like, oh, that makes sense now.
It makes so much sense. And then I was scared and I didn't pray much, but I was like, I have to pray about that. I have to talk to Jesus. So I prayed and I got a still small voice answer that said, if you don't do this, you're going to be miserable, and a couple other things. And I was like, okay, cool, let's do this. So I got my hormone shot for the first time. And a couple weeks later, I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. And I just felt like me finally, like I could actually be me.
Yeah.
And so I was doing drag. I kind of
just stop for a second.
Yeah.
So can you break that down for us? So what was it like? So you have this hormone shot. You have all of a sudden your chemicals are balancing out to the way that you feel that they're balancing to your soul. What does that feel like? What was going through your body or your mind what is it like when you first get that feeling that, oh wow, this is what it must be like for everybody else to just be comfortable in their skin? What is that like?
I had that moment twice. I had it when I first started taking antidepressants, and then when I took estrogen. And I remember my whole life feeling like I'm always depressed. I'm always anxious. I feel sad. I never fit in. Nothing ever felt right, ever. Like nothing ever. I just didn't feel comfortable moving through the world, and everything was scary and hard and stressful.
Wow.
And that doesn't mean that it alleviated all the stress, but I felt like I was me. Like I had been in this shell all of my life. And then all of a sudden there's not this barrier of there's not a constraint. It's like if your hands were tied to your chest like this all of your life, and then all of a sudden your arms were released, and let's take out the atrophy part. Like if atrophy never happened, and your arms were there and you could move your arms and use your arms, Like, how radically shifting would your life be?
Wow.
That's how I feel about transitioning. Like,
And how long did it take?
I did it slowly. Like, this is the thing with cis gay men at the time anyway, and drag queens at the time. Everybody had expectations for me to look like Pamela Anderson within 3 months. Like, they're like, just live your life as a woman already. And it took me 3 to 4 years to actually feel comfortable on a daily basis, you know, wearing bra and makeup and moving through society as female that I was. And then, but like everything just started lining up, and I was doing drag, and then I was like, this doesn't feel right anymore. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And so I needed to move outside of the LGB bubble, and without sacrificing my creativity. One of my friends, you guys know him, Teddy Margus, was like,
yeah, we love Teddy. We love Teddy.
Teddy and Mikey, I love them so much. But I went to Teddy and I was like, hey, is there, like, he's like, you need to do stand-up. And I was like, what? I'm so scared. So he helped me formulate, and they asked me to host a show because I've been hosting drag shows and stuff. Yeah. So I got on stage and he's like, you've got 5 minutes. And I got up there and I did 3 minutes. And I was like, this is amazing. And it just felt more in alignment with who I am. And I don't have to put makeup on if I don't want to. I don't have to get all glam. I can just fucking go to a bar in jeans and a t-shirt and do a set and feel amazing about it.
That's awesome. That's
so
really amazing.
I love it. I love it. I did one of the first ever transgender comedy festivals in Los Angeles, and we worked with the LGBTQ Center and Teddy, and then we did the first ever showcase at the Hollywood Improv, and Teddy gave all of my students their first shot to get up and practice at Foo Bar before they did it on the big stage. And it was so amazing to see the transformation with everybody, to like talk about things that they were so embarrassed or ashamed of, and then bring light into those dark spaces. And for me, that's what comedy is. It's bringing light into that dark space.
Yeah.
And
don't you see that with all your students though? Like, there's definitely something about trans and queer people having the opportunity, but what I see with all my students is they're like, oh my God, I never thought I could really do this. And then they come out and they're like, I can really do this. And I'm like, yes.
I'm using the reference of skiing, even though you girls have not been skiing. Comedy's like skiing to me. Comedy is the mountain. And getting up on your first open mic is going down the bunny slope. Mm-hmm. And you can hire a coach to take a class, or you can just eat it on your own and just eat it until you can get down the mountain. And we have Olympians that are in the X Games, and then we have people that just enjoy it and can get down a double black diamond, which would be like 30 minutes on stage doing your thing. And there's room for everybody on the mountain, whether you want to be an Olympian, a professional, or whether you just want to go out and just have a great time on that stage and ride those moguls and share that experience. So that's kind of how I explain it to new students. It's like, if you just want to learn how to get down the blue slope, that's great. If you want to become an Olympian, that's a 10-year commitment. Olympians just don't come out the gate like that. So just understand, you know, there's some time and effort and discipline involved.
And that's one thing that I think that people, even comics a lot of times, don't value the education process. And this is why I say that it's important. I can teach you how to formulate jokes and be funny. I can do that. If you're naturally funny, it's going to make it even better. If you're a comic and you've never taken a class and you don't want to take classes, cool, that's fine. But I will tell you that classes, whether you know the material or not, can help you focus. like comedy doesn't have an emphasis on educating and always honing your craft, you know?
Every actor takes an
Every actor. But comics bitch about a $200 class. And I'm like, I paid $300 for acting one that I've already done before because it helps me hone my skills.
So,
and yeah, I mean, I know it's
student, from teacher to teacher, you know, what would be the number one thing that you like to instill in your students when they start? What's that one thing that, like, what's the one thing that you can, like, demystify about comedy that you try to instill in your students about stand-up? Because people love comedy, but it's this mystical thing that they think it's just a magic power, and you just get on stage and you're Kevin Hart.
We know that is not the truth. It's a skill that you learn. That's the biggest thing. Anybody can be funny. Anybody can be a comic. You just have to learn the skill and learn how to use it. That's the biggest thing. Anybody can do it. They may not be incredible, but anybody can, you know what I mean? Like if you want to get on stage at an open mic and do that, that's great. Cool. Do that if that's your goal. But it's an art form, and you can learn it, but you have to be committed to working it.
Yeah.
I tell everyone, get a book and write down all the time. If it's just a word, write down the word. Like, yeah, you can put it in your phone, but I want you to write it down with your hand in a piece of paper.
See, I tell all the students the same thing. I tell them, I call it bitching. What's bizarre, ironic, terrifying, crazy, and hard about your life. And it can be the bitching about the roses, which is what's bizarre, ironic, terrifying, crazy, and hard about the successes, or it can be what's bizarre, ironic, terrifying, crazy, and hard about the thorns, the pain. These are my COVID bitch journals.
Yes.
This is just COVID.
Yes.
This is just the last 6 months.
And never stop writing.
So there's a lot of writing involved.
Whether you're going to use it on stage or not, write down jokes because it's therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. I love it. When did you start teaching?
I've always been a trainer. As far as like in my career, I was a trainer. I do a lot of workshops and coaching stuff. And then when Lady Laughs Comedy started, because we started out as just a women's comedy festival, and then I was like, I want to do more to empower women and queer people as comics. And so I was like, well, let me teach it. And so I just I just wrote down my own thing and was like, okay, this is what it's going to look like.
So is that right? LadyLaughsComedy.com/events.
Yeah.
So if you're watching, it's all in the posts from the YouTube channel to Facebook to BuzzFeed. So when we click on here, when is the event?
So we've got several events going on. We've got tonight at 7:30 Central, which is 5:30 Pacific. We have Extra AF Comedy with Dana Goldberg and Sarah Taylor. They're both from LA. And it's so good. And then on the 6th, we have Rise Against Hunger. We've teamed up with Rise Against Hunger to do Laugh Against Hunger. So all the proceeds go to them, and they help feed people around the world. It's such a good cause. On the 7th, which is National Comedy Day, we have the Women's Comedy Summit and Lady Laughs Comedy Awards. So it's going to be like, I think I'm going to do a workshop called Humor and the Imposter Complex. We've got somebody talking about how to do comedy in English in countries that don't speak English. We've got the Latino women.
It's just a lot of miming and charades.
Aaron will tell you all about how to do it. And then the Latino women's comedy panel, and I think we're going to do a Butch women's comedy panel.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then we have 15 awards that are going to everyone from newbies to very established comics. Yeah, it's just a day of empowerment. And
is
then
it too late for people to enter into the competition or to be
for the awards
or for any of the events, like if they wanted to perform or go?
Unfortunately, like we're still open to suggestions, but I foreseeably have it full because it's just a 4-hour summit.
Because some of our students and some of the Misfit toys would probably want to participate because they're just learning about it now. I just wanted to ask for the students.
They can absolutely join in the summit. I don't know if we're going to have any performers added to it, but I'll let you know as we go forward. But yeah, it's going to be just a fun day, empowering way for women to talk about comedy. And you don't have to be a comedian to participate. Like, you know, if you want to just have a fun day of empowerment and hearing about funny women, and it's $10 to get on Zoom. It's so easy.
I love it. So what does empowerment mean to you? What does that mean? Maria, you tell it. What does empowerment mean to you? When I say empowered, what does that mean?
Just a couple of different, like, there's like empowerment just through yourself, like being comfortable in your skin, not giving a shit about other people's opinions, you know, and just really embracing who you are. I feel like you're empowering yourself when you embrace who you are, not just accepting, but embracing and loving yourself and every part of you. Because in our society, just in general, the patriarchy from day one has been all about women being less than, women being, you know, pitted against each other for the affection of a man, women just constantly being picked on and just little by little trying to pick at women to keep them down. And it's just, it needs to stop. Like, women need to stop tearing themselves down. Wait.
I was just saying amen.
I thought it was muted. But yeah, stop tearing
I muted myself, which is rare.
Stop tearing each other down for the most petty reasons. And also empowerment is supporting other women and not being catty or petty because someone else is thriving. Because when you support each other, then that person, granted, if they're not a shitty person, you know, because there are those, but if that person succeeds, she will take everyone else. You know, that's what I want to do. You know, when I see another sister trying to make it, and if I have a platform that she may not have access to, if I can get her in, I will. You know what I'm saying? So it's empowerment from yourself and empowerment like through others to support each other, you know?
Oh yeah.
What about you, Dina? What does empowerment mean to you?
It's having your voice heard and recognized. It's taking up space without apology.
Yes.
It's and it's lifting other people up so that they get a hand up, not a handout. They get a hand up. They move forward. Everything I do, I want to bring everybody I can along.
Yeah.
I want to showcase you. I want you to be in the limelight. I want you to be a part of everything. That's what empowerment is. And I'm so tired of the competition.
I love it. Empowerment is giving people a voice and sharing that platform.
And taking up space without apology.
Exactly.
Get up on that box, but throw the rope down and help your fellow humans, sisters, people who met up on that box. And how many times have I seen in comedy where people get up on the box and then instead of throwing the rope down, they shove their foot in your face?
All the time.
Oh my God.
And you're like, wait a minute. I wrote with you for how many years? We went to open mics with so and the thing. Wait a minute. Like, I thought, you know, that's why I love the Misfit Toys, is because we're in it together and it's a sisterhood. And if one of us succeeds, we all succeed. If someone gets a booking or a thing, we celebrate each other and we go out and we support and watch each, and it's having that support system. And I try to explain to people, for me, It's not even for me. Like, does Beyonce write all her own music? No. Does she choreograph her own songs? No. And is Beyonce Beyonce when she's on stage? No, she's Sasha Fierce. So when Kevin Hart gets up on stage, he has help. He has a team that helps direct, choreograph, and write. And that's a character. That's his Sasha Fierce. And having people understand that comedians are just like a rock star or any other entertainer, except they're way more powerful because they don't have backup singers. They don't have music. They just have a microphone. And they themselves are their canvas. There's no costumes. There's no lights, you know. So I love that. What is your definition of success, Dina Nina?
My definition of success is being respected for the things that I do.
So respect.
Respect and recognition.
Respect and recognition. What about you, Maria? What does success mean to you?
Just, I mean, I've gone over this before, but I think there's other, like, success is just, it's all relative to what you think success is. And, you know, like, for you, success could be having a cottage in the countryside where you don't talk to anybody and you're living your best life and you're growing your little herb garden and talking to the plants and having, you know, tea at high noon. Like, that could be success for you. Like, maybe that's what you want. That's all you need. And you're good. You're golden, you know? And for others, success might be, like, for me, success is being respected and recognized in my craft by those who are also respected and recognized. You know what I mean? Like, might not necessarily, you know.
Yeah, and the truth about it is, it's not about money, because everybody can make money somehow. Right. It's not about money. It's about, and even if people don't recognize my success, I know that I'm successful because I kick ass and I take names. You know, like, success isn't only external validation; it's also internal validation.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Now I'm like, what? Like, now you all made me think. I'm like,
I mean, like,
success for me is, it's a lot about choice and being able to choose how you want to spend your day, who you want to spend your day with, what projects you want to take on. For me, success is about choice. Because when I was broke, when my family was broke, we didn't have a choice of what job we could do. I didn't have a choice of what I just had to survive. So success is the quintessential opposite of surviving, where I can choose which job I want to take. I can choose who my clients are, my students are, which showcases, which tour, who I want to work with. What, having that choice to me is like the biggest, like when you were talking about being the pharaoh tied up, having that choice is breaking free for me and just being able to be like, you know what? This is who I want to work with. And I'm not choosing this project for the money. I'm choosing it for that. This is another project making great money. But again, I'm choosing this, and having choice, which is something that I didn't have when I first moved to America. And it took me a long time to get to that level where I could choose. For me, that was success, is just being able to choose. Yeah. Being able to choose.
And in a moment, I can choose that money. You know what I mean? Like, I can choose that money, but I'm also going, after I choose that money, I'm going to go do things that feed me, my soul.
Girl, I'm getting so many goosebumps talking to you. Like, it's a good thing I'm wearing long sleeves, because I look like a chicken. Like, I look like a chicken, like, plucked out of the thing, because like I just get so many goosebumps. You make me feel so good. So
I'm
Dina,
a comedy guru.
I want you to choose the third word of the show. What should we define? What word would you like Maria, myself, and yourself to define? What's the third word and the last word of the show?
That's so tough. I feel like I just need to put some paint in a thing and see what word comes out.
That word?
Glorious. Glorious.
Oh, the word is
glorious. Is that the word? Is that the word?
The word is glorious.
The word is glorious.
That's a good one.
You never had glorious. That's a good. I'm like, okay, glorious. I'm like, okay.
I want
glorious.
All of my people to be glorious, and whatever their gloriosity looks like, I want you to love who you are, be who you are, express it on stage or wherever you are, and just wake up and be fucking glorious.
So, Maria, what does glorious look like to you?
Glorious is waking up on my beachfront property that I now own, and it's right next door to the other house that my sister owned that I bought for her. I also have a commune. Like, I am taking care of everyone, and everyone is yes, you can live on the commune too. Come join us.
All the
I'll take your
commune
house on the west end. You know, we have our communal garden. Like, everyone is taken care of, and no one has to worry about anything because we made it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I make it, everyone makes it. That's what glorious looks like to me.
I love it. I love it.
My commune is going to be called the Diosian Gardens.
Oh my God, I love that!
Right? The goddess's garden. Like, just so goddess. Tiny homes everywhere.
We can have a communal commune right there.
Yeah. Mini goats and mini sheep.
Oh my gosh, amazing. I love it.
I love it. I honestly, for me, glorious is about legacy, and that I would like to be known as like the Clive Davis of female comedy, that I have found the Whitney and the Alicia Keys, and I've helped cultivate these amazing voices and brought them to the world and helped them wake up global consciousness. So being known as someone who has launched
pioneer
voices, that to me, that legacy, that to me is glorious.
Yes.
That is glorious.
That is glorious.
I like it.
I feel like we're all the same people.
Honestly, I'm like, oh my God.
We're just in different places. We're just in different places.
We can have tea and just vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God. When this pandemic is over, we can find, like, I keep saying that, but like one day, Dina, Nina, I want to go visit you because I've never traveled to other states.
Misfit Toys are coming to Wisconsin, bitch. We come into Wisconsin whether you like it or not. We coming. We coming. And the thing is, what is glorious to you, Dina, Nina?
What I've been able to. Oh, okay. When I moved here, I was like, I'm a trans comic. I don't know anybody. It was hard to get into places, so I just started creating my own space. And I feel like I didn't do it on my own, but I initiated this women's comedy movement in this little ass town in the middle of the country. And it's, even though it's here, like, I feel like there's, okay, glorious. A cisgender male comic said on the internet that all these students from Lady Loves Comedy that are coming out and coming to the open mic are so much better than people who've been doing it for years. And I'm like, that is glorious. And honestly, then having people come to my festival and then talk about it for weeks on end, saying, oh my God, it was so fun to connect with the women and be a part of this. Like, it was so empowering and so fulfilling. That's glorious.
I love it. I love it. Glorious. We are out of time. I want everyone to live a glorious life and
what the shows and everything that you got coming up, like, tell us, where can we find you? Like, all the Lady Laughs Comedy, all your events are there.
Yep, pretty much all the events are there. Right now we've got 2.5 weeks of full things and then kind of getting a lull. I'm on DinaNinaMartinez.com and at Dina Nina Martinez everywhere.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, I was very excited that I got to be a part of the Las Locas and Lady Laughs collab. That was an amazing show, y'all. I just need, I'll actually be able to post some of that of my set. But I did want to share too that I have a couple of shows. I'm very excited for this. This is a live show I got booked, COVID compliant and everything. It's going to be in LA. It is through the Cal Poly Women's Resource Center.
How do we find out about it?
I got booked by someone whose sister works for the department. I got booked at the live show I did in Highland Park. And it was my first live show. So she saw me perform and she was like, you need to be on our show. I was so excited because that's the kind of stuff I want to do is like, heck yeah, like Cal Poly Women's Resource Center, like all these teenage girls, or not even just teenage, like college girls that get to see women in comedy. It's an all women's comedy show. So you can find me on Instagram if you want to, get ticket information and all that. So right there, Maria Della Ghetto. That is my name on all platforms. You just type in Maria Della Ghetto, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You'll find me. And I have a show tonight that's also available on my Instagram. It's Dat Fan and Friends. So yeah, it's a free show too. So hit me up if you want to watch that tonight. And yeah.
And then tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
we're doing a show at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. You can find us at Misfit Toys Comedy.
I'll also
be a hilarious night of all the alumni. I'm actually going to do a set. It's going to be cute. It's going to be cute. I'm going to talk about all of the illegal white people here in Mexico. It's happening. My gardener's name is Steve, and he's from Orange County. No. People think that Mexicans are lazy.
Right now,
Republican a leaf blower. Give a Republican a leaf blower. I will show you lazy. That's we're gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it real. So no, but it was such a pleasure, Dina. Like, oh my God, what an amazing show! And thank you for sharing your time with us.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Love it. Love it.
I love you.
We will definitely be in touch. And next week we will see you Thursday, same time. Ciao.
Bye.